All right, it is one of the largest and most historic rivalries in college football that goes beyond the football field. We're talking the Army-Navy game coming up this weekend. Joining us in studio right now is football fanatic Nick Valturo. He made it back fast. Nick, this is going to be the 125th meeting between the two branches out on the gridiron. Who do you got?
You know, it's really one of those classic football matches in college football. Army, Navy. This morning, the Army Black Knights are 10-1. Their only loss coming to Notre Dame, and they're looking to stay hot when they play Navy Saturday right here on 10 Tampa Bay. Now, the midshipmen are also hot this year with an 8-3 record. Joining us this morning to preview the matchup is play-by-play announcers Rich DeMarco and Joe Miller. I just want to bring you guys in and let's just talk a little bit about this game. What a matchup. Bryson Daly has been unbelievable for Army, on his way to almost a Heisman campaign. It's really been such an unbelievable season for both of these schools.
I'll tell you, Bryson Daly has been everything that Army could ask for at that quarterback position. And the way he's been able to do it and just his demeanor and how he really represents the nature of this team, I don't think anyone at the start of the year would have thought Army would be 11-1 going into this Army-Navy game. But it's been a dream year. It's a good year. Won't be a great one unless Army wins on Saturday.
Yeah, but we can talk about the job Jeff Monken has done with this Army team, especially their only loss coming against Notre Dame, and that's one of the top 5 teams in the country. It really has been the Bryson Daly show. 1,500 yards, 30 touchdowns on the season, throws for about 950, almost another 10 touchdowns in the air. This Army team has been really good, but Navy has really had a good season. They had that loss to Notre Dame, got in a little bit of a slide, but that team's also been looking good. And we know when these two teams play, anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Navy this season so far, they're 8-3 on the campaign. And they've done a tremendous job within the AAC this season. And they kind of dealt with a couple injuries here late. But Blake Horvath, their quarterback's ready to go for the Army-Navy game. They went down to East Carolina a couple weeks ago and won without him. They had a big win there in Tampa a couple weeks back over South Florida. So this Navy offense is playing really well. And on the defensive side of the football field, you got two great defenses matching up too. A lot of the focus is going to be on the quarterback play, but these are two of the best defensive teams in the AAC. And traditionally, this has been a very low-scoring game over the last few years. So I would expect another matchup like that on Saturday at 3 o'clock on CBS.
Yeah, you definitely don't get the Roger Staubach version of the Navy with them airing it out for 400 yards. This is more of a ground and pound type of attack. Both teams, Army and Navy, like to run the ball. We've seen Army just going against Tulsa last week. They were able to run the ball for almost 300 yards. I mean, Bryson Daly has really been unbelievable. A lot of people thought he should be on the Heisman stage in New York this weekend, but it's really been what we are seeing out of Army is really this consistent ability to put these wins together. But we do know, like every time these two teams do play, you can really throw records out the window.
All these games are played in a phone booth, I think, is what we like to say. If there are any phone booths that still exist in the United States. But yeah, you just can't get any kind of separation between these teams. And it always comes down to special teams. You know, Army with a couple big field goals a couple of years ago, one going into the locker room again last year. And it comes down to those little things. And as I've always liked to say, there's going to be a hero that no one's thinking about now that comes up and makes a big play.
Yeah, you know those big plays can be made because we've seen it. And even last year's game, we thought it was going to be lopsided. It came down to that last series. It's always a nail-biter when these two teams get together. And it's such an incredible display of patriotism. We know just what this means. 125-year anniversary of this game. I mean, what does that mean to both these schools and really just for both these programs? Such a historic, legendary status.
Well, I think it really means everything for these programs. I mean, as everybody talks about, it's always from the Navy perspective, it's beat Army. From the Army perspective, it's beat Navy. I think you saw that last week with Army playing in the AAC championship game, with playing that game, but also one mind with the fact that you still had a Navy on the schedule for them. So it means everything. And I think you go back to the point where this game has been so close. As you mentioned, last year came 2 yards away from deciding the game. The previous year, it went into overtime. These games have always been close, which means, as Rich was talking about, it's maybe one or two plays that decide this game. I mean, and it's been special teams, it's been mistakes, it's been great plays. It's one of those things when you look at when you're playing these games that are so close in nature, a handful of plays can decide Saturday, and it means everything for both these institutions and both these teams and both these coaches.
And like Joe said, Army wins over Tulane in the American Athletic Conference Championship game, 35-14 blowout. Celebration on the field, taking the trophy. Now 11-1 on the year, and Jeff Monken makes it clear it's on to beat Navy. And so that just shows a pinnacle. Being in a conference for the first time in the American Athletic Conference, winning the championship, going undefeated through the league, and the post game was, we got to beat Navy.
So we're going to put you guys on the spot. Any predictions? Are you staying out of the predictions? I mean, this is a good Army team. We know what Bryson Daly has done. Are you guys going to go bold? You going to make any predictions for this one?
A close game, Rich. I think.
Yeah. Look, I say every year, Army by a field goal. And actually, over the past few years, field goals have come into play. And look, the last 7-8 years of this rivalry. A missed field goal by Navy in 2017, a couple made ones by Army. I'll say Army, 17-14?
I'm going with Navy. I think it'll be a little bit more points, maybe 21-17 for Navy in this one. But this game has always come down to the last play, at least in recent history. And I wouldn't expect anything else on Saturday.
And weather's going to be a factor. It's going to be cold out there in Maryland, so we know it's going to be real football weather. But I do like your guys' prediction. I also believe Army has the edge. They've been unbelievable this season. Like I said before, we were talking about Bryson Daly has just been incredible with what he's been able to do on the field. I appreciate you guys coming in, stopping in, and joining us for a few minutes. Thanks for giving us that recap. And, of course, you're going to be able to catch the game right here on 10 Tampa Bay. For right now, reporting live in studio, Nick Volturo, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Nick, Zoom's about to cut you off there.